All right, let's get started. So, thank you guys so much for joining us. Good morning to everybody on the West Coast. Good afternoon to people in my time zone on the East Coast, and good evening to those of us who are in Europe. We're very, very excited to have you guys here for our new product introduction. And I know we're all excited to see it, so I won't dilly-dally. Let's get right to it. So today we're going to go over a few different things. We'll have our introduction, which we're doing now, a brief statement from our CEO on what's new at Contour, then the new product introductions, a quick ergonomic review of the problems and issues and what the new products solve, and then a Q&A session at the end. If you have a question, please use the Q&A feature along the menu bar at the top to ask your questions. I will then filter through them and then ask them to the appropriate person at the end of the webinar. We have about 15 minutes scheduled for Q&A there, so if I don't get to every single question, I do apologize. All right, so let's meet our speakers, shall we? Today we have Kenneth Nielsen, the CEO of Contour Design. He'll be giving us the overview of what's new at Contour. Then we have Greg Dizac, our Chief Product Officer. He will be showing us the new products. Ron Porter, owner of the Back School, who will be going through our ergonomic review. And me, I'm Mike, I'm the host. I don't want to make us wait any longer, so let's see what's new at Contour and get introduced to our new products.
Hi, I'm Kenneth from Contour Design. Thank you for joining us. Today is about more than just new products. It's about reimagining how the world works literally. And thanks for trusting us with your hands, your health, and your happiness, both in and outside of work. At Contour, our purpose is simple: to save the world from computing harm, one hand, one career, one life at a time. And today marks a new chapter in that mission. Because this is more than a product launch. This is the very first launch of the new Contour. You may have noticed we look a little different. But this new identity is more than colors and typography, or a fancy website. It's a promise and a recommitment to share our expertise and lead the way in ergonomics and go beyond the mouse and the keyboard. And importantly, to do what's right and keep designing products that feels better, work smarter, and last longer for you and for the planet. For 30 years, we have been redefining work, literally, all based on a simple idea: work shouldn't hurt. Since then, we have come a long way. Over the past years, we have helped more people than ever reduce pain, recover from injuries, and feel good at work. In fact, we are so proud to say that 9 out of 10 users also are ambassadors and actively recommend Contour products to friends, family, and their colleagues. New tech may be launched every day, but we use 3 decades of market-leading expertise to develop better designs that keeps you healthy, comfy, and productive. We have created some of the most innovative, bold, and brilliant ways to use a computer. From the first Contour mouse in 1995 to the award-winning Roller Mouse Red in 2013 to the latest Pro Series in 2023. As a company, we are proud of fixing problems. We use hard work and honesty to get things right. We have been on a mission to keep evolving, improving, listening, and adapting our products to meet the needs of an ever-changing workforce. And sometimes correcting course when you told us we needed to. And we are grateful for that honesty. We think it's why our customers stick with us for years and even decades. None of this would be possible without people around us. All along the way, you have been there to provide us with insights, feedback, stories on how we have helped you avoid surgery and allowed you to be productive and work in comfort. That's what Contour always have been about. Building products that don't just work, they work miracles. So to all our global customers, partners, collaborators, and teams who've helped bring today's launch to life, thank you. This year, we've been able to welcome ActiveKey to the Contour family, expanding our ergonomic leadership into the broader health and safety space. That means we're not only protecting posture and productivity, but also helping prevent the spread of infection with state-of-the-art medical-grade solutions designed for today's most demanding environments. And that brings us to what's next. Today we are proud to introduce Contour Touch, our first ever ergonomic touchpad. It brings the comfort and centered design we are known for, combined with the fluid, familiar gestures users already love. We are also launching the refreshed Balance keyboard, now wireless, rechargeable, and more adaptable than ever, with 2 different sizes to choose from. Designed to work perfectly with our mice and even better with your body. But innovation means more than just new products. It also means progress for you and for the planet. Since launching our sustainability program in 2022, we have made real strides in decreasing our carbon footprint while increasing the overall efficiency of our manufacturing and shipping process. In just a few years, we've been able to source and integrate recycled materials into both our products and our packaging. Our flagship product, Roller Mouse Red, is now built on 100% post-consumed recycled aluminum. The Unimouse, Slider Mouse Pro, and Roller Mouse Pro all use recycled hard plastics. And every piece of our packaging is made from 100% recycled cardboard. All of this leads us to bring the per product emission down by almost 50%. We know your health isn't a trend, nor is the health of our planet. And that's why we are super excited to share that these new products being launched are amongst the most sustainable to date. Because saving hands shouldn't come at the cost of the earth. And speaking of price, our new products are the most aggressively priced products to date to help democratize better technology. We are proud of how far we have come, but we are even more excited about where we are heading. To show you these new products and what they can really do, here is Greg Dizac.
For over 30 years, Contour has been helping people work miracles. You know us best for the Roller Mouse, a device many of our customers call life-changing. And this is not an exaggeration. When we ask our Roller Mouse users, 9 out of 10 said that it really helped relieve the pain that they had. And for those experiencing discomfort in their shoulder, it's often the only mousing solution that truly helps. But we also understand that not everyone is ready to try something so different from a traditional mouse. Some worry about the learning curve. Others simply prefer familiar interfaces. At Contour, we want to save the world from computing harm. One hand, one carrier, and one life at a time. No one should be left behind. This is why we have decided to expand our ergonomic ecosystem with solutions that combine a familiar and intuitive experience with effective pain relief. Here's what we know. 6 million professionals across Europe and North America experience shoulder pain at least weekly from computer use. That's the size of Denmark's population. More than a third need to take frequent breaks to just manage this discomfort. Many turn to painkillers, but that's not sustainable. This isn't just about people's comfort and well-being. Pain leads to sick days. Discomfort affects performance. Whether the cost is explicit or hidden, these issues often have a negative impact to a business bottom line. Today, we're really excited to introduce Contour Touch, the world's first truly ergonomic touchpad. What makes it ergonomic? Central positioning. By bringing the touchpad to the center of your workspace, we eliminate the reaching to the side for the mouse, which typically contributes to shoulder pain or discomfort. In our Ergo Lab in Denmark, we invited 22 real-life users to try out our new product versus a standard mouse, and we precisely evaluated posture, muscular activity, and mousing performance. The findings demonstrate that touch delivers a strong positive impact on shoulder posture versus a regular mouse. Shoulder abduction decreases by 8 degrees, and very importantly, rotation moves from plus 12 degrees to minus 33 degrees, achieving the natural shoulder rotation posture, which is essential to reduce the risk of repetitive stress injuries and discomfort. Beyond shoulder pain relief while mousing, Contour Touch provides a familiar and high-performance mousing solution with a high-resolution touchpad featuring a glass surface for smooth finger movement and a mechanical click that remains consistent across the entire touch area for precise activation. On top of it, native support for multi-finger gestures and the addition of 4 shortcut buttons bring you advanced productivity in your digital work. The wrist rest made from high-density foam offers the ideal combination of comfortable palm support and seamless transition between mousing and typing. Finally, Touch comes in 2 versions: USB-C cable for those preferring the simplicity and security of a wired product, or Bluetooth for those preferring the convenience of wireless. Now, great ergonomics doesn't stop at mousing. Actually, based on usage data across the most popular business applications, working professionals press keyboard keys 5 times more often than they click with the mouse. A mismatched keyboard can undermine every ergonomic benefit you might get from our centered mouse. Too high would increase the wrist strain. Too low would create pressure points or accidental key presses. And with the wrong width, you would lose the wrist rest advantage or optimal alignment between the keyboard and the active touch area. That's why we have engineered the perfect typing companion. Meet the Contour Balance full-size keyboard, designed from day one to work in perfect harmony with touch. They match in width and height, creating a seamless integrated ergonomic solution. And with our innovative snap links, you can physically connect them so alignment is never a question. But Balance full-size deliver first and foremost best-in-class typing performance and comfort. The keycaps have been designed to match the curve of your fingertips for exceptional comfort and reassuring precision. Beneath the keycaps, you will find a finely tuned scissor mechanism that brings fast and precise typing. The ultra-thin profile, one of the lowest in the industry, ensures minimal wrist extension, and an optional wrist rest provides extra palm support and comfort for those who would want to use it with our vertical mouse. Our full-size key layout follows ISO guideline for keyboards, so all the familiar shortcuts and navigation keys are exactly where you would expect them to be. And when you want to customize your setup, you can customize any of the 18 shortcut keys in our software to the functions that best match your workflow. Balance Full Size is a wireless keyboard. It comes with a tiny USB-C dongle, but it also lets you connect to 2 other computers, tablets, or smartphone via Bluetooth. And with the quick switch button, you can easily transition from typing on one device to another. But we couldn't stop there. The original Balance keyboard was designed to match Roller Mouse. So now we have completely re-engineered it to deliver the same ergonomic and typing standard as the Balance Full Size. And this is Balance Midsize. It matches Roller Mouse Red's width perfectly. And when you extend the tilt legs, the key height seamlessly matches the roller bar. We've included snap links here too, creating one unified workstation. It's all the high-performance typing of Balance Full Size in a compact footprint. To get there, we thoughtfully repositioned some navigation keys, but we kept the full-size arrow keys in a standard layout. We know they're essential for a streamlined workflow at the desk. In addition to the same wireless version as Balance Full Size, it also comes in a version with a USB-C cable for those who prefer the simplicity or the security of wired products. For over 3 decades, Contour has been helping people work miracles, and today marks an exciting new chapter in this story. With the launch of Contour Touch and our Balance keyboard line, we're expanding our ecosystem to meet you wherever you are in your ergonomic journey. This isn't where our conversation ends. It's actually where your transformation begins. Thank you for being here, and we look forward to supporting you every step of the way. Hello, everyone. Yeah, indeed, the Contour Touch will be available in North America at $119 for the wired version and $139 for the wireless version. While in Europe, the wired version will be available for 99 euros and 119 euros for the wireless version. And for the balanced full-size keyboard, it's a keyboard that's available across North America and Europe. And since we said there is only one version, which is the wireless version, and it's going to be available at $109 and 99 euros in Europe. Finally, the balance keyboard mid-size, which is available only in select countries in Europe for the moment, is going to be available at 89 euros for the wired version and then 99 euros for the wireless version. So as you can see, these prices here are, I would say, more affordable than the traditional roller mouse products, which makes these products actually interesting to really democratize the relief of the pain relief that we can bring with this type of products.
Thank you, Greg. And am I correct in saying that these products, since it is September 18th, are available across our markets now?
Yeah, absolutely. They're available today. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much, Greg. So let's get to an ergonomic review and talk about the actual pain points that these products have addressed. I'd like to introduce Ron Porter from the Back School of Atlanta. Go ahead, Ron. Looks like Ron might be having some technical difficulties. Give us 1 second to sort that out. And we can also take some questions in the meantime. All right. Let's see, we have a question here for Greg. Will the mid-size keyboard be available in the US at some point?
Hi. I mean, yes, we can't really comment on future product plans, but indeed, I mean, I think the idea is that the current balanced keyboard will transition to this new keyboard, mid-size keyboard. So the timing cannot be confirmed, but at some point, it makes sense that it would be available also in the US. Yes.
Absolutely. And we have a question about the what to do with the new keyboard and protecting it from crumbs and other yuckiness. Are there any considerations towards that?
So yeah, so there are some consideration, of course, as you saw, we recently acquired ActiveKey, so this is something that is obviously things that we're looking into. Again, this is not something that's available the day of launch, but indeed there's a clear need that's out there, and this is something that we consider. The other thing that I would say is that both for actually the Contour Touch and the keyboards, our products are actually wipeable with alcohol, so they can be disinfected. So that's the idea. And then the shape of the keyboard itself is such that crumbs are very difficult to get into. But indeed, I mean, I think that this is something that we've inherited from ActiveKey, and at some point that we'll probably be introducing. But again, I cannot comment on future products.
Understood. Thank you so much. Right here. And Greg, in the absence of Ron, it does seem like he has some trouble connecting. Would you be willing to maybe talk a little bit through the ergonomics of the product itself?
Yeah, I think I see you Ron now. So
Ron, if you're able to unmute yourself and see if you can get the audio working, just let us know. I believe he still might be having audio issues, Greg. So I'll hop over to his parts of the deck, and I know we've discussed it before. Maybe you can just kind of give us a bit of an overview if that's all right.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So you're moving us to the right section, yeah. Okay, so one of the important things before we get into some additional details is to look into the fact that actually there are a number of people out there that have the issues that we've been talking about. And then musculoskeletal pain when you're using a computer is something which is highly prevalent. Now, it depends on the type of studies, but there are some studies that actually give a prevalence of as high as 50% for the shoulder pain, 20% for elbow issues, and 26% for wrist, hand, and upper back and lower back also around 50%. So a wide number of people are experiencing musculoskeletal pain when they're using a computer, and this is something that is really important for us to look into. If you maybe I should take control, Mike, right? Yeah. So yeah. Now, if you look at the upper extremity, and I'll try to do justice to Ron. I'm not an ergonomic expert as he is, right? But there are a few important things that we should really consider around the shoulder. Really, that's the joint that we with this launch we're really focusing on, and it's very important to understand how it works. So it's actually the upper extremity is actually very complex, right? So you have 30 bones that go from the humerus, which is at the top of your arm, towards the fingers, right? So and then so it's really there are multiple areas where you can actually develop some issues. You can have areas that develop at the top, as well as issues that develop at the I would say at the elbow area, and then issues obviously that develop towards more the hand, right? So there are a number of different situations where you could be at risk. And then the shoulder, really, there are a number of challenges, and this is something that we need really Ron to be available here to explain. But the few things that are really important is that the rotator cuff has 4 major muscles maintaining the shoulder stability, and this is an area that has typically a number of I would say issues that create shoulder pain for computer users. And then it connects to the scapula, and that's something that's that creates that's critical for the normal shoulder function. The other thing that's also important is that in some cases you have neural compression that can occur at the brachial plexus that enters the shoulder from the neck. So if we go to the next slide, what's really important is that there are a number of specific musculoskeletal disorders that are connected to the shoulder. So all those are actually conditions that come from a number of different, I would say, causes. But then when you're at the desk trying to interact with the computer, every time you actually reach to the side for the mouse, it becomes fairly difficult. And then you actually end up having to reduce what you're trying to do on the computer, or to actually suffer from it, or, as I was saying in the video, take painkillers and things like that. So yeah, that's the idea. So there actually, if you look at the type of problems that can be experienced when you look at the shoulder, there are several challenges. One is the fact that if the posture is not right, that can lead to actually to shoulder I would say issues, or increase the risk of having an issue. So when the shoulder is going too far forward, that's the first problem, right? So it creates excessive shoulder depression. When the arm is elevated, lifted to the side, or lifted or rotated outside, this is also a problem. And then you have other types of problem related to the force that's applied on the arm, right? Do we still have? I mean, I'm happy to continue, but I'm really, I mean, I know this from but I'm not the best expert. So, is Ron not there?
Ron is saying he is having some issues with the microphone still. His settings are not muted and his microphone's on, but for some reason the audio is not transmitting. So I don't know if we're going to be able to get him to be able to continue.
Okay.
But Greg, please, yeah, I mean these slides are obviously not yours, and we appreciate the
Yeah,
walking us through the
exactly.
ergonomic issues and the
Yeah.
fixes that we're taking.
Yeah. So I think if I summarize, I mean, I think what's really important is that when you look at the shoulder, it's really important that the shoulder is in a posture which is very close to being a natural posture, which is really minimizing the energy that the entire body is using to hold that posture. And then the second aspect, which is really important, is to make sure that you don't have too many of the repeated movement that actually are activating a joint too often, and then at some point creating some challenges on that joint. So if you look at this, this is a picture from our products being used, and what you actually see is that the arm is actually in a more natural posture. Here, the person is actually using the numpad on the keyboard, but as you can see, the shoulder is closer, the humerus is closer to the torso, and then you can anticipate that actually the hand would be actually moving between the numpad and the touchpad, so that there is really that arm is really, the forearm is actually in that zone, which is really good and natural for the shoulder. So yeah, I think that's yeah. The other thing which is important, that there's shoulder on one side and shoulder posture on one side, and then there's the other thing which is more the challenge of having to go back and forth between the mouse and the keyboard, and so that's something really important. And then if you do it too often, at some point, because you have to reach far, that movement can be something that can create injuries if you start to do it too often, right? So overall, I mean, this is a really great chart that actually Ron provided, and it really shows that there are areas where you're really safe, and the risk in terms of injuries or in the shoulder, or the experience of pain, if you have already some condition in the shoulder, is going to be limited, and it's this zone which is right in front of you. And then you have two zones that are acceptable, and you can use those zones with both arms, and that's fine. And then at the moment you go outside of this zone, so you extend too far to the side or too far to the front, this is where you put a strain on your body, which is too important, and that's where you start to really put your body at risk, increase the risk of having injury, or experience more frequent pain if you have precondition on your shoulder. So really, I mean, that's the whole point there with Contour Touch and the associated keyboard, is that really you keep the interaction within this safe zone that we saw before, in terms of the movement, whether it's about moving the pointer with the touchpad in front of you, or typing with the keyboard in front of you also, and then transitioning between both. The other thing, which is also something which is interesting in terms of the difference between using a touchpad and using a mouse, is that in some cases a mouse is not always the best shape for the hand size that you have, right? So if the mouse is too big for you, or if a mouse is too small for you, depending on the type of grip that you're used to, at some point some users actually have to apply a certain level of force, usually too high, in order to move the mouse. And that grip force to move the mouse actually can create also some challenges in the forearm. And this is why when you have a touchpad, the situation is very different, because with a touchpad, there's no question about your hand size, right? The hand size doesn't really matter. What matters is that you use your finger in order to touch to move the mouse on the screen, right? And so it is actually more universally acceptable and compatible with a variety of hand sizes, if you want to make sure that you don't suffer from the negative consequences of having to grip your mouse too much. And then yeah, that's the idea. So overall, I mean, I think that what Ron was trying to convey is that a touchpad, if we have some members of the ergonomic community in the audience, a touchpad sometimes is considered something that is not necessarily the best ergonomic device, that a mouse is more ergonomic. But if you really look into it, actually, there are a number of situations where a touchpad is actually more ergonomic than a mouse. So when you have situations where you're actually experiencing challenge or you want to preserve the health of your shoulder, using a touchpad in front of you is actually a really good idea. If you're someone for whom a mouse with the right size is difficult to find, for instance, maybe a touchpad is also something which is also interesting. And then finally, the repetition of movements between mousing and typing, if you happen to do that very often, maybe, and that starts to become a problem, maybe considering something that's just in front of you is also a really good solution. Ron, I think you're back.
Are you,
Because I hear
are
you.
you able to hear me now?
Yes. So I tortured your slides and I conveyed 5% of what you were trying to explain.
Okay.
I would say, I think that if you could actually give us a little bit more background on the shoulder itself in the initial slides, that would be fantastic, right? And maybe then we can save this part because that I felt more comfortable with this part. But the earlier part on the anatomy of the shoulder and the MSDs of the shoulder would be something that would be great for our audience if we have time, Mike.
Okay, I would be delighted to do that. Am I controlling the slides now?
Yes, if you are scrolling backwards, we see the backwards movement.
Okay, all right. Yeah, restart the computer worked. So I should have called the IT people. I apologize for the technical difficulties, but first of all, Mike and Greg, thank you very much for allowing me to be part of this presentation today. I've used Contour products as a physical therapist for a number of years. Also, I am a in my ergonomics practice, but I've also been using it on a personal basis because I myself had shoulder problems. So one of the things I want to ask people to do before we look at the anatomy is like to ask you to sit up straight for a second, raise your arms above your head and see how much you're able to do that at the shoulder. Then round your shoulders a little bit, stick your head forward like we frequently do. Try to raise your arms again. And what you're going to notice is you're changing the mechanics of the shoulder and creating a lot of the stress that Greg has been discussing with you, both through the video and through this presentation. The arm itself is a very complex structure, and there are multiple joints that allow us to use our hands to do functional activities. The shoulder is the primary one that begins from the torso. And so when we're not working in neutral postures, it creates stress not only there, but it can also create stress at your elbow and down in the wrist or the hand. Here we see the muscles that have been added over the bony structures. Generally, the risk factor that creates problems for most of us related to the shoulder, excuse me, are related to static muscle activity or the muscles not being used correctly. If you look at this diagram of the shoulder, you'll notice that there's a bursa underneath. And you can also see the tendons that attach the muscles to the bones. So when individuals are in a non-neutral posture, what we end up with potentially is either pressure on the bursa, and over a period of time, individuals would develop an inflammation there or bursitis type of pain. When the tendons are not pulling in the correct position, they start to wear. This wearing creates tendinitis. Over longer periods of time, it can create rotator cuff damage, and which is more of a chronic issue and may last for longer periods of time or even need a surgical intervention. Let's see if I can go to the next slide. There we go. Diving deep into the structures, one of the things are the area of the body that produces the greatest amount of discomfort is when we get pressure or damage to nerves. In the shoulder area, you've got the brachial plexus, or the nerves that come out of the cervical spine or your neck. They run under the clavicle above the first cervical rib and then around the shoulder. When that shoulder is not operating in the correct postures, then the individual will start to develop either potential compression on those nerves, which may create pain at the shoulder, or it can create referred pain for the individual, where they may state that they've got discomfort in their hand, their wrist, their lower arm, or even in the elbow. Most of us have heard of carpal tunnel syndrome, which is impingement of the median nerve at the wrist. However, the median nerve originates in the cervical spine. And a lot of individuals that develop problems that they think are carpal tunnel syndrome are actually what are called double or triple crush injuries, where you've got impingement in the shoulder area that's creating the discomfort for the individual. So I think, Greg, you talked a lot about neutral posture. One of the benefits of neutral posture, besides making it easier for people to perform the job or their work activities, is it also increases productivity. Often at the back school, one of the things that we talk to people about is the importance of being what we call a workplace athlete. Athletes use the best equipment. They use the best performance activities, which would be the neutral posture, and they keep their bodies in good physical condition. So I think you covered a lot about the postural issues. The thing that I would like to finish up with is to talk to you a little bit about the benefits of movement. We've now been here for about 40 minutes. Our bodies are designed to move. Data entry activities are designed to keep us from moving. And so one of the things that we focus on a lot in ergonomics, besides the correct posture, as well as the correct equipment, is moving the body frequently. Movement allows the muscles to act like little hearts. They move nutrition-rich blood into the body, and they remove waste products. When we don't move or when we don't change positions frequently, especially if we're not working in a neutral posture, it exacerbates the risk of people developing musculoskeletal disorders. So one of the things that we encourage people to do is about every 30 minutes, taking a 60-second movement break. This is an ergo break sheet that you can find on the Back School website. I picked out the two that are probably most important for what we're talking about today related to the shoulder. The first one is a neck and a shoulder stretch. It's designed to pull our scapula back and stretch the muscles in the front part of the body. So if you would join me by holding your hands in front of your forehead, breathe in through your nose, and then as you exhale through your mouth, pull your elbows down and back, turning your palms toward the side walls. What you should feel there is a gentle stretch in the chest and pulling the shoulder blades back, allowing you to more easily work in that neutral posture. The other exercise here is what we call a lower back flexor stretch, where it allows you, instead of looking forward, to look up and back. So maybe every 30 minutes or so, either stand up or lean back, do one or two of these exercises to help facilitate the benefits of using the correct equipment and the neutral postures. So in conclusion, The ergonomics, or through ergonomics, the proper fit between the worker and the workplace can reduce the risk factors. So it's particularly important for individuals to be able to work with their hands directly in front of their body. When the mouse is off to the side, as Greg has discussed with you, it creates a lot of additional postural stress, increasing the risk of people taking or developing musculoskeletal disorders. So it's particularly important for individuals to view themselves as a workplace athlete, to keep their bodies in good condition, uh, to use the neutral postures as frequently as possible, and to use the best equipment. So again, my apologies for not restarting my computer more rapidly, but thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today about the importance of ergonomics. Your products certainly have done that for me and for our clients for a number of years.
Ron, thank you so much for being a trooper and really working through that. And you stuck the landing at the, that's all we can ask for. So let's go through. We answered a couple of the questions earlier, but we do have some questions left for the Q&A. So let's see here. Greg, this one would be for you. Will there be a touchpad that is compatible with the compact balance keyboard, or I guess more in general, just balance keyboards or keyboards that are compact size?
So I would say, I think that the idea is that control touch is is the size it is because it's full size, because it allows you to benefit from a full size keyboard with it, which is important because a full size keyboard is something which is very universal. People know exactly where the keys are. Actually, it has a number of different keys that are really important in order for you to be efficient when you interact with the computer, so to actually reduce the amount of movement that you're doing in order to accomplish your task. So a full-size keyboard is a really good layout of keyboard from an ergonomic standpoint. And because you don't have to reach to the side for the mouse, I think we really would like to just simplify a little bit our lineup so that if you're looking for a contour touch, it goes with a full-size keyboard.
Fantastic. And there's one last question I see in here. Will you be able to adjust the sensitivity of the touchpad on the touch?
Absolutely, it's actually something that you can tweak in the Windows settings in your on your computer, and then on top of that, with our own software, you have the ability to reprogram the buttons that you have at the top of the touchpad, so that actually you can have really functional shortcuts that match your workflow when you work on the computer.
Fantastic. And then a couple more questions coming in last minute here. Will the roller mouse units fit into the new full size and or mid-size keyboards?
So the roller mouse units, so roller mouse, let's be specific because we have many roller mice.
Very true.
And so roller mouse red actually fits with the balanced mid-size, because it's the exact same size as the current balanced keyboard. It's actually really optimized so that the center of the roller mouse is actually aligned with the center of the typing area of the keyboard. And then it's really perfectly matching in size and obviously in height, as I mentioned before. And then Roller Mouse Pro 3 actually matches in width and in height with the full-size keyboard.
Fantastic. And then we have one last question here that is actually not touch, but roller mouse red specific. Should I be using my thumbs with the roller mouse red? Which finger do I use for the space bar?
For the space bar.
Mm-hmm. And if she should be using her thumbs for controlling the roller bar on the roller mouse red.
So I think I think it's this is an interesting question, because there is the way that the product has been designed, and then there are different ways of using it. The reality is that people use it in different ways, and what we believe is that as long as you don't experience challenges, if you use it a way that works for you, it's actually probably a good way. Now, originally, the roller mouse was actually designed to be used not with the thumb, but with the fingers. But I would say, I mean, I think it's something that we have to be also aware of, is that, you know, people use products the way they feel is the best for them. And we don't want to be too patronizing or too prescriptive in terms of how it should be used rigorously, because there are many different situations in the world. And so if there's something that works for you, it should probably be good for you.
Fantastic. I believe I'm just double checking both the Q&A and the chat, but I believe that that is the end of the questions that we have. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I see a few more questions. Maybe we, yeah. No, yeah.
I think we answered the earlier questions during Ron's technical support issues. So is there anything else you'd like to add to close with?
I would just say that I'm really glad that we're bringing this product to you today. I think that the immediate next step for those who haven't tried this product is actually to give them a try, experience them, because it's, you know, slides and videos are great, but the product in real are really where the difference is felt. Talking about typing feeling is great, but when you experience it, it's a really different thing. So I would really encourage everybody to get to know more about this product, try them out, and then bring it out there, because these are really great products that will help people feel relief in their shoulders.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Greg, for joining us today and helping develop these products. Ron, thank you so much as well for
Thank you,
being
Mike.
able to, of course, to be able
Yeah,
to
thank you.
speak and give us, you know, some expertise outside of the company. We really appreciate that. Technical issues aside, of course. Thank you. And Kenneth, thank you so much for joining us. And from everybody at Contour Design, we really appreciate you joining today. We really look forward to seeing you guys out there and what this product can do to help. And we really hope we can work miracles with you soon. So thank you very much, all. Have a great day. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.